Today I'm working on my C5 Corvette build and I'm whipping out a new tool that I got recently. So I thought I'd take the time today to make a video to go over this new tool because it's a pretty nifty thing to have in your garage that can help you on all different kinds of projects. Thanks so much for checking out this video today. If you guys are new and you like what you see in the video, definitely consider subscribing and checking out the other content I have on my channel. As I mentioned, I'm in the middle of a really cool Corvette build, a C5 Corvette build where I'm rebuilding the front end and fixing up a lot of the car, and I will be incorporating a ton of really cool 3D printed parts with the build coming soon here. And also, if you guys are interested in go-karts, I have an Etsy store where I have the complete blueprint and design kit for my homemade go-kart that I built when I was in college on my Etsy store for sale. So if you guys are looking for a cool hands-on project and you like go-karts, definitely go check that out. The link for that store is in the description below. Okay, so getting down to business to talk about this tool that I want to go over today. So that tool is my new Astro Pneumatic Rivnut toolkit. So for those that don't know what a Rivnut is, it's a rivet nut, Rivnut, and it's a really cool piece of hardware that allows you, it's a threaded insert and it allows you to have a threaded hole without having access to the back side of the hole. So it's used a lot in like thin sheet metal components, especially with like frame rails, like I said, where the back side of the hole is not accessible, so you can't get a nut in there to use to thread the bolt into and secure whatever it is you're trying to secure down. So Rivnuts, I'm sure, are used all throughout the automotive industry, but they're especially used in the Corvette build. They're all over the place. They're on the frame rail, they're on the radiator support, they're on a bunch of different components. So I thought it would be handy to have a Rivnut toolkit to be able to replace or add new Rivnuts when I'm replacing something, modifying something, fixing something, etc. The other place where Rivnuts are really commonly used, and again combining my two passions on the channel here, automotive, cars, and 3D printing, another common place where Rivnuts are used are in 3D printing. So with 3D printing, most of the time you are printing plastic components or plastic parts. So trying to thread a metal bolt into a plastic part is never going to end well. You're just going to destroy the threads, especially if there's any kind of load or force on the bolt. So what people commonly do is they'll just print a open hole or a blank hole, and then they'll thread one of these Rivnuts in it, and it's an easy way to get a secure mounting point in your 3D printed parts. So being that I'm planning on incorporating a ton of 3D printed parts into this Corvette build, and even a few things for my Toyota Tundra, I thought it'd be really nifty to have this Astro Pneumatic Rivnut toolkit. I'll go over to the toolkit, show you guys what you get in the kit, and then kind of just do a quick demo on the front end of the Corvette because I'm having to put some Rivnuts in to support the foam insert for the front bumper. Okay, so here's the Astro Pneumatic Rivnut toolkit. It comes in this really handy little carrying case and storage case so you can keep all your pieces nice and organized and hopefully you won't lose anything. So I got this on Amazon for about 70 bucks. Again, this is not a sponsored product. I bought this completely myself and I'm just doing a review to show you guys some cool capabilities you can achieve with this tool. So obviously in the kit here you have your Rivnut tool itself, a little wrench for helping you to loosen and tighten the different mandrels for the different Rivnut sizes. You have some Rivnuts that come with the kit. I think there's about like 10 or so in each bag, and there's about 6 different sizes. And then obviously the important part are all the different mandrel sizes for your different Rivnuts. So you get 6 with this kit. I haven't actually checked, but I'm assuming you should be able to go on Astro Pneumatic site and get some more mandrels that come in various sizes, because like I said, you only get 6 in this kit. You get 3 metric, 3 SAE. So you get an M5, 6, and 8, and then you get a 1024, quarter 20, and 5/16 by 18. So if you need something in between or smaller or bigger, you might be able to go on their website to get some different mandrels. So it's a pretty straightforward kit. You just have your mandrels, your Rivnuts, your gun, and then your wrench. So this tool is very simple to use. I'd say the trickiest part is just actually changing the mandrels out. So the first thing that you need to do is there's a little sleeve inside here that you pull down, and you're actually going to loosen this top nut here that kind of holds the mandrel in place. And all of these are labeled, so there is a 1/4 inch marking on the side that's stamped on there, so if you mix these up you should be able to find it easily. So then next you're actually going to unthread the mandrel from the center of the Rivnut tool. Just like that, and then you put these two things in the little storage boxes for each different mandrel size. And you can release the sleeve because it's spring-loaded. So just because I'm doing this for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to put that exact mandrel back in because I'm using the 1/4-20 mandrel size today. So what you're going to want to do to install a new mandrel is you can do this with the arms collapsed here like this. So you're going to want to pull down with your finger, or some people even use the wrench that's provided in the kit. So you're going to pull down on this spring-loaded sleeve here, and then you're going to thread your mandrel in with this orientation. So the longer side of the mandrel goes away from the gun, the shorter side goes in, and you're going to thread that guy into the center insert of the Rivnut gun or tool. So then once you get that threaded in, you'll see that the spring-loaded sleeve actually hasn't popped back up, and you want that to pop back up. So what they say in the instructions is you hold the front here, and there's a little knob right here. This is used to actually unthread the tool from the Rivnut once you set it in. But what you're going to want to do to get that sleeve to seat back up all the way almost towards the top, so you're going to hold the mandrel on the front, and then you're going to slightly twist this, and then that should get the sleeve to pop back up. And because the nut on the mandrel and the nut on the gun are then aligned, so you can see now that spring-loaded sleeve is back in the most upward position. So the next step in changing out your mandrel is you're going to thread the top cap nut on. Just going to thread this guy on. Now all these pieces, the directions say you don't need to torque any of this down, and I've used this a few times and that's pretty true. So now you got your mandrel on there. So the last thing that the directions don't very clearly go over, it's kind of vague a little bit, is depending on the size of the Rivnut that you want, you actually have to adjust. This is a threaded part right here, and you can adjust the height of the top of the Rivnut tool so that you get the proper throw when you need to compress the Rivnut into whatever hole you're putting it in. So you kind of have to adjust that based on the size of Rivnut that you're using, so that way the arms can fully extend out, and then as you pull them in, it pulls this center section in and basically collapses the Rivnut, squishes it out, and then locks it in place. Okay, so now let's show you guys the Rivnut a little bit. So here is what a Rivnut looks like in case you've never seen one. It actually kind of looks like a bullet almost. So this side with the flange or step, that's going to be the side that is going to be facing out towards wherever your bolt is. So you will see this side when you're threading in your bolt. This side here is going to be on the blind side that you don't have access to. And then right where my finger is, right about there, there's actually some serration, so it helps the Rivnut to grip against whatever you're mounting this into. So to prep to install the Rivnut, you just basically thread it on the top of your mandrel, and you completely bottom it out on the top of this nut here, and then you're ready to go over to your part and put this guy on. So before we go over to the car to show you guys, basically when you install the Rivnut, you're going to have the arms in the expanded or outward position, and then as you pull the arms in, it pulls the Rivnut this way, and while you do that, this flange backs up and then squishes the Rivnut onto itself, and then it holds it in place. Okay, so coming over to my C5 Corvette, for those that don't know, this is my Corvette build that I'm in the process of fixing up the front end. The car was in a little bit of an accident and I got it from an insurance auction, so I'm spending some time to fix it up, and then I can get to all the fun modifications and 3D printing add-ons that I plan on doing with this car. So just recently, I replaced the front impact bar, so the bar that mounts to the two main frame rails of the car, and one of the next steps with the front end here is to remount the foam impact absorber that mounts to the front of this that goes underneath the front bumper. So that foam impact absorber mounts to the front impact bar using 3 different Rivnuts. Now I bought this impact bar as a replacement off of eBay off of a damaged C5 Corvette. Obviously cut it and re-welded it onto this car. So it came with 1 Rivnut in the middle, but for some reason the 2 other holes didn't have Rivnuts installed, and the foam impact absorber does have holes to mount in those 2 locations as well. And this location here, I just put this Rivnut in to test the tool. So to demo the tool to you guys in the video, I'm going to go ahead and put a Rivnut in this hole right here. So again, just to reiterate, so what you're going to want to do is expand the tool so that the arms are completely out like this, and this is going to put the mandrel in the most forward position. Then you're going to want to thread the Rivnut all the way on till the flange is completely backed on to the top of the mandrel here like this. And then you're going to go over to your hole and you're going to pull the 2 arms together, and then that's going to press the Rivnut into place. going through our blind hole, and we're gonna squeeze the arms together. Now our Rivnut is in place, and then you use the center knob right here, and that basically unthreads the tool from your Rivnut. Okay, so as you can see, we have our threaded insert or Rivnut secured into place on the front of the impact bar over here, as well as over here. So this is a really great tool to use in situations like this where access to the back side of the hole is not easy, and it would be difficult to hold a nut back there while you thread a bolt through that hole to secure whatever you're going to mount into place. So a threaded insert like this just makes it a lot easier to mount things when you have a blind hole or you just don't have really easy access to the hole that you're mounting to. So as I was doing this morning, I just thought this would be a great way to demo this tool for you guys, because it's a really good example of being able to easily thread in a piece of hardware without needing to hold a nut to the back side of it to secure it into place. So this was just a quick demo for you guys on this really cool Astro Pneumatic Rivnut toolkit that I got. Again, it's really handy for automotive applications, so if you've got some project cars going on, this is a really handy tool to have, especially if you're doing modifications to the car. You're adding new brackets. That's a big thing, especially in the engine bay. When you add a new bracket, like if you're doing a turbo kit or something custom, this is a really handy tool to have. And also, of course, if you do a lot of 3D printing, having a metal threaded insert in your plastic 3D printed part is critical to having a part that lasts a long time. So again, I got this toolkit off Amazon. I'll put a link for it in the description below. If you guys have any questions about the toolkit or the applications, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll do my best to answer the questions you have. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Again, if you liked what you see in this video, definitely consider subscribing. Give the video a thumbs up because that helps the performance of the video. And other than that, guys, I will see you in the next one.